Hi friends! If you just wanted to spend some time getting ready with me for the month of May, then please keep on watching. Hi, my name's Alicia. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. I realized that I did not do a get ready with me for the month of April. And I'm like, how dare you? Definitely doing one for May, as I want to go over the most recent products I picked up, just chatting, talking about beauty, talking about things in between the beauty. And with that said, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. These are starting, well, I feel they're looking better. Maybe that's just my own optimism. This does look better under makeup. And want to let you know, I do have my EV SPF 30 Daily Sun Defense Mousse. I try to buy some more off 50 milliliters, but they're like, we can't use PayPal because the currency is not the same. I'm like, it shouldn't matter. That's why I'm using PayPal. I need to email them because I need to re-up on that SPF. I have a lot of favorites, and big ups to you guys for your much appreciated support for our Brown Girl Beauty Myths collab. I talked about sunscreen, and Kelsey talked about blushes and bronzer, Jordine about nude lips, Chelsea about bold lips, bold eyes, Tina from Fancy Face neon makeup, T from Nappy Head and Jojoba pastels, Monique from Mo Makeup Mo Beauty about luxury foundations, although I will continue to call her channel Mo Money Mo Beauty because of Tina. Cracked me up. Foundation. Friends, I have been loving. I'll present to you what I've been loving and also a confession. Neiman Marcus had another sale. I'm sorry, not Neiman, Bergdorf Goodman. And the Pat McGrath foundations were on sale, as well as several other items. I realized that my Pat McGrath foundation in M16 is a little too warm for me. At the time, maybe last summer, it might have been a better match because maybe I was a little more tan. Although I was very adamant about sunscreen and wearing my sun hat, I picked up light medium 14. So this is light medium 14. This is medium 16. Yes, the light medium 14 is a much better match for me. In addition, picked up the Hourglass Vanish in golden. I originally bought this in honey. Honey is way too warm. I don't know what I was thinking. And also the Hourglass store in New York City, as beautiful as it is, not the best lighting. It has like that overcast lighting that imparts a glow on you, but doesn't really help with a true color match in terms of lighting and seeing it in real life. This I have in golden, and I for a moment had to think, ooh, was it golden amber or golden natural? Hourglass has a few types of golden shades in their Vanish line, but this is definitely it. So if you want to see a swatch of that, that is golden, and this is honey. Isn't that nuts? At one point, I really thought this was my shade, and could have been if I do tan or self-tan. If you want to take a look at the Pat McGrath, this is the light medium 14. This definitely is a better shade match. It's even a better shade match than the Hourglass. I insisted on still buying the Hourglass because the coverage on that foundation is just, oh yes. Here is Pat's medium 16 next to LM 14. I'm going to cut down the exposure a little bit just so you can better see the differences between the hues. Definitely my dead-on color match. I could get away with M16. It does look a little warm on me. And my current fave, as well as the Surratt Dewdrop. I actually mixed this with the Surratt Dewdrop in 9 and 7. The Giorgio Armani I picked up in 8. And I was afraid if 8 was not going to be a good color match, but it in fact is. So see, there's a little pinkiness in there. That's why I like to mix it up with my other foundations, because grabbing a little bit of like that pinky undertone that looks pinky on me, this is actually labeled as neutral, and then mixing it with more something yellow from any of those foundations, It's a good matchup. It's a good matchup. My apologies for the sniffling. I spoke too soon and my allergies have been a little, but I'm trying to, you know, promote good gut health and drink my apple cider vinegar and all that stuff. Mixing the Giorgio Armani with a little bit of the Pat LM14. Just a touch. Also, a little bit of the golden. Just a little bit. As well, this is overdoing it. I feel comfortable being excessive with everyone because I have all this foundation, fam. I do. And you know what? I should just use it. I'm taking a little bit of the Surratt number 9 Dewdrop and I just bloop, bloop. First, I dot it around as much as possible. Then I mix this together. New concoction, place that all over. My poor nose is so dry. Like, why? Grabbing my BK Beauty 105 large buffer. A huge thank you to Lisa J. She reached out via Instagram. So I now have a discount code and I'm working also on the affiliation link. So thank you to Lisa for allowing me to be a part of their affiliate program, BK Beauty's affiliate program. Because man, I've been using this large buffer nonstop. It just makes foundation application seamless and a breeze, and ideal to use with a formula like the Surratt because a natural hair brush will soak up way too much product, excuse me, but this keeps it right on the skin. This has been my foundation routine, fam, for days, and it works. It works. If I need even more spot coverage, any small concealer brush will do. This is my Zoeva 146. And as you see here, I just take it on the portions that need more coverage. But in that instance, I'll actually use concealer. And as you know, I have a bunch. The Hourglass, I can mix the Hourglass and the Dior. I can mix it with the Plum Grass. Dune from Hourglass packs a punch in terms of coverage. And that's what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna put some here on the back of my hand. Offset the goldiness of it with the Dior Forever Skin Correct in number 3. Mix that together, and actually I'm gonna use the BK Beauty 108 precision powder. Although it's precision powder, I freaking love this for concealer application. It just whisks it on lightly. It doesn't look heavy. And I feel it offers up more coverage on the portions that I need more without layering on too much makeup. This has been my out the door foundation routine. I don't feel pressed to apply concealer, but we are doing a full face today, so I feel like I kind of need to do that. Question is now, what shall I put under the eyes? I am so disorganized. No. Shiseido 301 medium right on the inner part of the eye. Then with Pat's LM14. I much prefer LM13. I don't know where it is right now. So I'm using the Shiseido just to balance out the yellowiness of it. Going in with Pat's what is this called? The Shine Duo from her concealer release. Do you need all these complexion products? Absolutely not. But I do encourage you, however. You have multiple concealers and foundations. Why not mix them up? You know what I'm saying? Since I have been collecting quite the many cream products, going in with, what mixture should I do today? I'm gonna do Teddy and Macchiato. And with that said, of course, oh good, here it is. My little spatula, I'm gonna scoop some out, which is Teddy with a little bit of Macchiato. Many of you had asked what I think of the Fenty 125 and one of the BK Beauty brushes. This is the Fenty 125, marvelous brush. I think it's one of their best ones. Although, disclaimer, I don't have all of them. I did order their foundation brush that released with their hydrating foundation because they are running a sale 25% off. I do have the original foundation brush, the 110, which I like. It's very, I feel when you clean it, it has a little more flexibility, but when it starts absorbing product, it can get a little stiff. That's why I would highly recommend that you wash this in between. But I do like this brush also, as well as the concealer brush here. What is this? I believe the 180. Concealer brush is great when this released with the concealer. I do think this is one of their best brushes. This shape does not exist in the BK Beauty line. The two brushes I would compare this to will be the BK 107 and the 106 round foundation. This I feel is a little softer, a touch softer, and more densely packed than these brushes. However, I think it really all depends on your face shape, whether you like burgundy or pink. Any of these brushes for the next task I'm about to present will be ideal for. So with that said, I'm taking my cream bronzer mixture, and why not? We'll use the Fenty 125 on this side. So you see, because it is wedged, I feel it makes it just insanely easy to use, as it fits beautifully into the hollows of your cheeks. And again, because it's still a little fluffy as well as densely packed, it blends out the product effortlessly. Now for the BK Beauty side, I could go in again either 107 or 106. I've been loving the 106 actually for my cream bronzer application. I feel it just makes it so effortless to apply. It's amazing. This has been my go-to brush for my cream product portion of my routine. Really nice. But again, this is not as densely packed as the Fenty, I feel like. The Fenty has more bristles, just a tad bit more. This is a little softer, like I said, but they're both amazing. I mean, if you felt you have not been able to successfully apply your cream bronzer, your cream contour, it looks smutty, it looks too much, or what have you, that's it. Next up, should I apply my cream blush now? Because the eye look for today is actually a really fun collaboration in my head. I know I'm changing topics and makeup steps here, so let me just start all over again. Hey, it's Jackeline. Hi, Jackeline. And I collabed on Make Your Own Pat McGrath palette. Jackeline then recently collabed with Morgan Turner. Hey, Morgan! To make their own Natasha Denona palette. I'm like, oh my gosh. I had originally wanted to come on here and use Jacqueline's Pat McGrath color story, which is beautiful. But then I saw her Natasha Denona color story, and I was like, I need to use that palette. If you don't know Jackeline, she has a channel, Hey, it's Jackeline. She mostly does luxury beauty. What's so intriguing about her is her background in design. I think it's so fascinating to see a person's perspective in terms of the makeup sphere and the beauty sphere from a perspective that's not necessarily a makeup artist one, but one that's still in design and color story and texture. So that influence is still, I feel, runs heavy in how she chooses color and how creates her looks. She also has like 2 restaurants and a catering business and manages to pump out content like no other. I'm like, Jackeline, you make me feel so lazy. And she's also a fellow Latina from Peru. And she was explaining in her Natasha Denona video how she grew up near the beach and she just loves summer. And even before I got to that portion of her video, when I saw this color story and I saw her beautiful palette that she posted, this just screams summer to me. Absolutely. In terms of all the colors in here that she included. And I love Morgan's too. Morgan, I'm going to do a video with your palette as well. Okay? I immediately felt summer. Most definitely. But when Jackeline broke down why she had the colors, how the beach looked in daylight and in the evening time, this felt like very much from the heart. So I cannot wait to dive into these colors. And I brought that up while going into my cheek portion because I wanted to pick a color that I thought will mesh well with the Natasha Denona color story. So I was thinking Petal Poppin', friends. I think that's a good way to go. I'm gonna scoop some out. And the scooping out is from my girl Kelsey Brianna J. Hashtag Kelsey Brianna Bay. To keep it as sanitary as possible. 107, popping it on. Yes, I think this was the right way to go. Most def. And then afterwards, I'll powder Ooh, I love that. This has been my go-to just no makeup look. Blushed cheeks. I usually don't go in with shadow. If I do, the colors are very warm. Definitely will do the brows. Definitely will do the brows. But the complexion though, all about it. I will set under the eyes with that. Let's see. Can I pick the... No, that's medium. You know what I've been using and loving, fam? The Linda Hallberg Infinity Filter Loose Setting Powder. I've mentioned this, I think, perhaps in my March or February favorites. Lightweight, just airbrush and finished. Perfect under the eyes. Definitely want to take my, if I could find her, hello, my Hakuhoro G5521B. This powder is one of those airy, like, reminds me of the Milk makeup texture. Once the brush hits the powder, it just goes all over the place. It's like, that is the texture of this powder. But I feel it's still very lightweight and ideal for warmer climates. Also for drier skin types. I feel a dense powder would be the Fenty Beauty powder. That's a really dense, more heavy in feel powder that I don't think ideal for drier skin types. This though, I feel normal to drier could get down with. Ooh, what are we gonna do for the rest of the face? Should I? Yes, I shall. This Tom Ford bronzer, I hate that it's so good. I really do, fam. I purchased this in Terra. This is not it. Hold on, let me try that again. That was the highlighter. Did you lose it? No, it's right here. It's laughing at me. Terra, I thought, and our girl Chelsea from Glam Girl Chelsea, this shows up on her. It looks very cool toned and feel like nothing's gonna happen. Maybe you have to apply it something else. I also have Gold Dust and Bronze Age, but I have been feeling this bronzer. Medium. I think I'm gonna set first. I'm gonna play it safe. Going in with my, actually this is my Tuckahoe Year of the Rat brush in collaboration with Beautylish, and a huge shout out to Beautylish for sending me this brush. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry that I'm showing this. I know it's no longer available. You're so mean. I'm gonna pounce that on. Cool. All right, you could just stop here, fam, if you wanted. If you're like, I need something a little more low-key, Alicia, then that's where you would end this makeup lesson, okay? Tuckahoe Z9 going in with Terra. This texture powder, let me tell you something. Tom Ford is expensive, overly so. That's why I make sure I catch these items in a sale. The ease of use, the quality is just unmatched. And also, I love his complexion products. I still am thinking about the Shade and Illuminate foundation. I hate that it has lavender oil in it. I might have to overlook that one minor detail, however. I'm holding off because I feel there will be another sale because the luxury retailers have been bombarding us with these luxury sales, and it's like, again? But I am open to whatever they decide to do, and I will be ready for that email. I might have to go in with Orgasm X. I'm going to wait until I do the eyes because maybe this will be okay to stop with, and also I will wait after the eyes are on to decide which highlighter I think will work best. Since this is not an eyeshadow review, I'm going to keep you where you are. Okay, maybe a little closer. Just so you can see the eyes in action. Perhaps helpful, Alicia, if you had brows. So fam, how you been doing? It is already the middle of May. I am filming this on May 19th, and summer is practically here. The speed by which this season just flew by with baffles me. I feel like I'm in a strange vortex of lost time and space. The fact that I had so much time on my hands, but the frequency, the speed is, I can't. I also was wondering, because I want to do more. Okay, here's the deal. I do my little Zoom classes, but I am going to change my platform to Mind Body so that anyone can pay virtually and join the live classes. Instead of me having to email everyone each and every time I schedule a class. That will definitely be easier and also more cost effective for the client. They don't have to remember each and every time to Venmo me if they bought a package or they bought a subscription to my live classes. Then they could just get, or rather be charged, a certain amount per month. I'm thinking about doing that, but I also get a little anxious when I have to go on the computer and get the pictures and the class descriptions. And class descriptions drive me nuts because people just want to know, like, what is it going to do for them? And sometimes the benefits are not what they want to hear. They want to know about toned this and toned that. I'm like, well, we will work on strength, balance, and flexibility. And that could appeal to a lot of people. And I feel the clientele is now realizing the importance of those benefits when it comes to exercise. Because this is an unpopular opinion. Let me lower this camera, it's a little too high. Exercise is not for weight loss. Although it could be a benefit, it's not what people should be doing exercise for. Exercise has great benefits or great cognitive benefits in terms of brain function. It stimulates your brain and just, builds those new cells to ensure that you're sharper, you're more focused, and you might hurt less. Not moving at all can yield great pains and aches. And exercise does not have to be overly complicated. You do not have to do pistol squats, or you do not have to do squat jumps, or those crazy antics that these fit pros on Instagram do. That's why I've been implementing some lessons in my lives, but I know it kind of scares people because it makes them intimidated. I wish I could just share more of the fact that exercise, once again, does not have to be limited to how you look like or what you want to look like. If you want to address any type of weight issue that you're dealing with, all that happens with nutrition. It does not matter how many sit-ups you do. It will not change how your belly looks unless you change what you eat. I'm not saying you have to do that, but if that is a goal of yours, relying on exercise to burn calories is not going to yield those results. Going off on a fitness tangent, as I knew I would in a makeup video. Our body does not recognize calories. Our bodies respond with hormones. Our hormones control our bodies. Depending on what food you eat will determine the hormonal response and will therefore determine how that said food item is metabolized. It could be metabolized into glucose, and then your body will use that glucose. All cells can use glucose. That is the simple sugar of life. If it's fructose, for instance, refined table sugar, that automatically gets metabolized as fat. Our bodies do not use fat as fuel, as a preferred source of energy. So we have to condition our bodies to then recognize the fact that, hey, not only do you have glycogen, but you also have fat to burn. If we are constantly eating, despite us staying within a certain window of caloric intake, if under 1,500 calories is spiking up your insulin is blocking the signal for your body to recognize that it could use fat as fuel. And that's where intermittent fasting comes in. And I don't want this to be like, you guys shouldn't be eating. This is something that I do. This is something that I felt that has helped me. I still eat the same amount, just in a tighter window. That is the difference between fasting and caloric intake and reducing it. You do not want to reduce the number of calories you eat because it does not have the same response. I'm going to stop it there because I could talk about this all day, but I will put down the resources that I rely on to help me better explain this notion and for also for me to understand it better. But I want to get into this color story. I am dying to combine Xena from Tropic and Desert Date from Safari. That is something that is calling my name. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it's always worth a try. Xena with my Sonia G, worker 1. I'm going to pat that on the crease. Since this is a relatively light pastel color, I could have done one of two things. One, use a lighter color base, as T recommended in her pastels video. Soft Ochre from MAC's Paint Pot is a generally easygoing everyday shadow-based shade to use for all my looks. But in the case of pastels, however, using one that's slightly lighter, I think will help bring out that color even more. But I think we can see it. We can still see that. To maximize the depth, packing on the color will ensure that the lavender shade would not appear dusty. And I turn the brush on its side to lightly feather the edges of that application. Now, I do want to go with Desert Date. I don't know how that's going to roll, however. If I want to put it on the inside or I want to... Let's see what happens if I just brush it on the edges. Ooh, 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 ooh. Wait, wait, wait. We like that. I'm happy I did that. I didn't want to put it on the V on the inner corner. Not in the outer corner, because I didn't want it to look or take away the lavender. Pulling it out a little further than usual. Viola from Lila. I have a confession to make. When I saw Jacqueline's palette and I was like, where is Viola? I was like in Spanish, ¿Dónde está Viola? And she was like, Chica, it's in Lila. I'm like, I'm fired. My favorite freaking palette, and I was unable to recognize that shade. Ooh. Do I like that? I know I'm doing like, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with it. I think we can make this happen. Although Xena is significantly lighter than Viola, I feel because it's still within the purple story, I'm going to start all over again. I think what I need to do is stay within the purple fam. Do I though? I don't know. Let me go in with Peach Puff and Sangria. Those are both from Tropic. Peach Puff with my Sonia G, Blender Pro. Maybe I need a warmer crease to pair Viola with. Tapping in Sangria on the outer V. That looks so pretty already. Tropic palette, I feel, is misunderstood. You have to, I think, limit the colors you pair, because I find a lot of people felt that many of the shades look the same. I think you have to be a little more strict with what you combine in the Tropic palette. I like that already. However, I am so insisting on using Viola because I feel like, there we go. That's better. I think that's a better pairing because this is going to yield a very much sunset type of look. Oh yeah. Okay. I feel better. But the question is, what shall we put on the inner corner? There's so many shades I want to apply. I'm only doing 2 eyes today because I started late, but I also don't want to keep you here all day, so there's that. Where can we put on the inner part of the eye? So many ways to go. Abalone, which is from Coral. We have Nude from Aries Holiday, I think it was 2017. Gusti, Tropic, Helio, Layla. I think I'm gonna go with Gusti because this has like a special reflect I want to see paired over Viola. I think it's so pretty. It has like a blue reflect. I'm gonna pat that over. Okay. The thing is though, now for what can go on the lower part of the lash line, what is this? Freckle from Beeps. Okay, freckle, lower lash line. Probably have to then pair it with Cocoa. The deep brown from the palette exists both in Tropic and in Beeps. I like that. I think I can dig. Okay. inner corner, however, ooh, I could go Ice Blue from Aries. I could do Cava from Gold. I think I want to put Abalone over Viola, but I think I want to do Helio. I think I want to do Helio here on the inner corner. I think that's such a nice pairing. There we go. I'm pulling that a little higher. Okay. Okay. Nude from Aries Holiday. Inner corner. It's a little cooler in tone, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Abalone, which is a topper shade in the Coral palette, but over Viola. Oh my, that was a good choice. Actually, I want to take that shade on the inner corner over Nude to kind of pull in that blue reflect so it could all look a little more cohesive. And then of course just a final zhuzh. Peach Puff on the bottom where I applied Freckle and Cocoa because I just want a little bit of that peachiness to also pull from the top. I like that. I think it's pretty. Okay, let me try this again with Xena. I think Tiger Lily from Tropic, a much tougher brush. This is my Units 117. I will then wiggle, wiggle, wiggle across the pan. Hello, words. I think that will best pick up the product. And now press that on the outer part of my lid. Because my plan is to combine this with Ice Blue. And I think that's going to be a lovely pair. Now do be careful because since you have to pick up a lot of product from the pan, you might experience some fallout, but just maybe don't do your face base first. Use some S33 to zhuzh the edges. And I also picked up more Tiger Lily so I could place more on the crease. Now I think I want to go in with Xena. I think Xena is going to be a better pair for Tiger Lily. Or not. First of all, you don't have to go this route. I think you could pair Xena with, let's see what we got here. You could pair Xena with Helio. The shade we put here, I think that's a great combination. Or with Nude, the shade we applied on the inner corner of that eye. I'm insisting on applying all the bold colors together because I'm just curious. You know what I'm saying? Use some G34. You have to build Xena up. Maybe don't use a fluffy brush like I am. Something more densely packed like how we initially started with the Sona G. Worker 1. But I think this is actually going well. Ice Blue from Aries. That was a beautiful 5-panner from Natasha. Oh, that holiday palette, as well as Joya, the more warm color story. Oh my gosh, but this, stop it. This is so pretty over Tiger Lily. Absolutely. Cava will be an interesting choice. Let me see how it looks on the inner corner. Cava is from Gold, by the way. I think we like that. It layers nicely. Cava is a topper shade. It has some, it's definitely more light gold, but I feel there's some teal flecks in there that could be harmonious with Ice Blue. Maybe I'm just forcing it, but I think it works. Dusting off any of the fallout that we got from Tiger Lils. I did have some casualties, but it's all good. That's why you have to make sure you got one of your buffer brushes on standby to just kind of pounce the color away. I think you'll be fine. What can we do on the lower lash line, however? I could do the same setup I have on the lid, or ooh, I could go Desert Date and just look like a hardcore NYX fan. But I feel because the colors are not, they're a little more obscure. I know. Alicia, what are you doing? I think, friends, we have something here. Goosty on the inner part. This is with my Sona G Worker Pro. I think Goosty is nice on the inner corner paired with Desert Date, but I need something to connect Desert Date to Tiger Lily. Or do I? Do I really? The completionist in me wants to apply something on the bottom here, but I feel Desert Date can stand on its own and just kind of flow with what's happening up top. And I'm pulling some of Ice Blue over Tiger Lily because Ice Blue, although a beautiful shade, I think has some topper qualities to it. So if you wanted a little bit of sparkle and dazzle, you could certainly layer it over Tiger Lily more. I'm gonna dab on, however, more of Desert Date. This is my Sonaji Jumbo Blender. I'm tapping that color so it could show up even more so. Ooh, I like that. I'm feeling that. Grabbing a smaller brush because I want Gusti to show even more, because Gusti has like these blue reflex that also when you apply over Tiger Lily, so good. But since we have Ice Blue, I feel, oop, that's the wrong color. I feel we could get away with not having to do that. But if you do have Tropic, definitely layer those suckers together. We have not used Spark, which exists in gold. This is definitely a topper shade. It's more of a gold reflect type of a gig. I will still put this on the inner corner because I think with what we have from Kava and then layering Spark over, I think is a nice collab, if you will. Taking a smaller brush because, see here, this is my Sonia G Builder 2. I'm just using this brush to kind of clean up any remnants of fallout that might have occurred on this part of my nose, as well as around my nostrils. I'm reapplying a little more bronzer because when I took off the eyeshadow, I just want to make sure it doesn't look all weird. So I'm gonna pull some around the temple area. I actually feel like we don't need blush or powder blush because Petal Poppin' from Fenty serves us enough flush, I feel, that the cheeks don't look flat. You know what I mean? Or, you know, I could just dab on a little bit of Melt's Honey Thief. Chikuhodo Z8. What highlighter, however, should we apply? Well, I already have this out. A Tom Ford Reflects Gilt Sonaji Designer Pro. Just whipping that on the cheekbones. Gonna apply some Ardell Studio Effects Demi Wispies. These I think have like more of the flash hair on the ends, so they flare out. I love these. These are so easy to apply and they're inexpensive. I still try to take care of them so I could get multiple use out of them. But I feel if I'm dealing with like a new Bunsum or a Lily Lash, I gotta be real careful because those cost like $30 a pair. And for lashes, especially with me, I don't wear them very often. It's not worth the investment and why I have been getting the Ardells more often. Ooh, those are big. It's okay. I think we can still see the eyeshadow. Maybe I could have picked a lash that was more wispy. You know, if I think I would have done my natural lashes, 421, still Ardell, maybe a better pairing, but it's all gone. Going in with some L'Oreal Lash Paradise Waterproof. For the lips, Natasha Denona's lip liner in L6. Gucci's Penny Beige on the outer part. Wayne's Camellia on the center. And here is the finished look, friends. I hope you had a nice time with me during this Get Rid With Me. I always love to chat and just put on makeup and also dive into other people's creations. Definitely want to dive into Morgan Turner's Natasha Denona palette next time. This was so much fun to do, and also to put together a palette with all the palettes that I have. Like I mentioned in my own Pat McGrath video, I love to play with the colors that are presented to me, but to be the one that has to put them together, I'm like, so there's that. So Jackeline, hopefully I did your curation justice. This is such a beautiful combination of shades, and just doing these eye looks, I have been thinking while in the process, I'm like, ooh, I could do this, I could do that. And this is a vacation palette. I know I'm not going anywhere, but just hear me out. Like if I were still going to Bermuda for the retreat I was teaching on, I would take this with me because these are the colors that I feel are so appropriate for the day, for night, and smoky eye in a tropical place like that, I feel more appropriate to live in with like this color instead of like your typical dark brown or black. So much fun to dive into these shades, and I think maybe I'll keep it like this. I don't know. It was a good test to remember what shade came from what Natasha Denona palette. I would love to know what your favorite Natasha Denona shades are, what your palette creation would be down below. And of course, if you haven't already, give a visit to Hey It's Jackeline, to Morgan Turner, to Kelsey Brianna J, to all the creators in the Brown Girl Beauty Myth collaboration. I'll put their channels below as well. And until then, fam, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I'll see you in here again with another tutorial review. Get ready with me, playing with another creators, make their own palette, monthly faves, or nightly live chit chats. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.